Is the Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis seriously going to tell Mopar fans that over 60% of Demon 170 orders are at MSRP? He must be referring to fraudulent MSRP orders because 99% of everyone else will disagree with that statement. As one of the people who had their Demon 170 MSRP allocation taken away from them by a greedy dealer, I would love to see over 600 Demon 170 cars being sold at MSRP. But what if I told you after calling, texting, and emailing over 1,000 dealerships with allocations, I know exactly how the Demon 170s are being allegedly sold at MSRP and how dealers are lying on the documentation about how much Demon 170s are really selling for. I called it last year that the horsepower locator was one of the worst things that Dodge introduced. The horsepower locator tells every single dealer how many cars of a certain type can be ordered in their area and makes it easier for the dealerships to collude and jack up prices. Last year in this video, I messaged all the dealers who had red eye and superstock allocations, and you were hard pressed to find any at MSRP for those cars. But that's not really a surprise. Any dealer now can go take a look on the horsepower locator and see exactly how many cars are going to get made, where they are going, and dictate how much they would charge. And that leads me to the Demon 170. Dealers know exactly where all the cars are going, how many will be in their area, how many Demons are left to order, and dictate a $200,000 over sticker price because time is running out. And it also didn't help that the top dealers in the country just so happened to be in one location together when the Demon 170 was announced, and the next day the allocations are given out to all these dealers. To me, it is highly suspicious that Dodge shows the same exact week that all the dealers will be together after allegedly blowing engines, preventing them from showing the Demon 170 at SEMA. I still haven't heard the funny story of why the engines were blowing or why they didn't show the Demon 170 at any of the other auto shows that happened since Speed Week last year. There are drag strips all over the country, and to choose the one in Las Vegas and during the exact same week that owners are meeting screams collusion to me. It's no question that 2024 will be a down year for Dodge in terms of profits for the dealerships. So let's see what the lineup is for 2024. First off, we have the Hornet, which will be imported from Europe, and other than rental car companies, I don't see everyone lining up to get one and throw down $50K markup to get this particular crossover. We have the Durango, which is going to be another year older, and allegedly there's going to be no Hellcat this time. But we heard this story before, and nothing to say that Dodge won't lie again and bring back the Hellcat Durango for a third year. Then we have the Charger, and from what I hear going on behind the scenes, it'll become a two-door to match the Charger Daytona EV, and then the Challenger on the other hand, it could become a four-door now. The dealers know that the next-gen Dodge cars will have Hurricane engines, and there's not going to be a lot of profit in them because all the profit was usually reserved for the Hemi engine cars. The dealers know that the next-gen Dodge cars will have Hurricane engines, and there's not going to be a lot of profit in them because who's going to pay 60 to 70K for a Scat Pack with an inline 6 engine? And then who's going to pay 5 to 10K over for that particular car? But everything I said over the last few minutes shows that how dealerships know that the next couple of years will not bring a lot of customers in the showrooms. So the Demon 170 and quite frankly all the other sticker pack final editions are final nest eggs for dealers to put crazy high additional markups in their pockets until Dodge can get their new models out. Now I hear the same excuse from people that dealerships can charge whoever they want, it's a free market, if people stop paying over then they wouldn't charge over, supply and demand, yada yada yada. The Apple iPhone, every year a new one comes out, there is a massive demand for the first few months. And how would you like to pay double the price of it because that's what the market dictates? Let's say Samsung makes an 8K 75-inch TV that comes with a crazy deal of $799. Everyone wants it, but when you go to Best Buy, Amazon, Target, or whoever, they want to charge $3,000 over sticker because that's what the market dictates. The PlayStation 5, I didn't see Target or Walmart, whoever sell it at $2,000 over because they wanted to make the money that the flippers did in the resale market. And as far as paying over sticker, unless you're like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, there's always someone with more money than you, some with a lot less brains than you, that don't care if they spend over sticker. And I've already seen the stories of the Demon 170 having foreign buyers shelling out top dollar to export them from certain dealerships. Now I thought Stellantis didn't like that, but a couple $100,000 in the owner's pocket can make anything possible at certain dealerships. Which brings me into some stories of dealers returning deposits of people who had deals at MSRP or a little bit higher. We can go to this situation where this person had deposit down for Demon 170 allocation and try to get the order in for the Demon 170. And then we get stalling by the salesman for a day, and he wouldn't even send the papers needed to be signed so you can actually place the order for the Demon 170. And then we have a third day, and now the lying starts to happen. And we have confirmation that money exchanged hands, but now all of a sudden, the person who originally had the allocation, they didn't call and they didn't cancel the order. Now the dealership just magically never got an allocation, but took a deposit. So one day we got stalling, then someone else calls and cancels the order, and then minutes later we get a new answer that they never got an allocation. And I myself had a Demon 170 allocation at MSRP, and it was taken from me, and then I got a BS excuses why. I would love for the Hendrick Auto Group to explain to me how I got an email from them around 9 AM that they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with their allocations, and then almost 3 hours later, they call me and tell me I'm number one on their list. Didn't allow me to place a deposit for the Demon 170, send me a congratulations email telling me to get excited, and then wait a week later to tell me on the day the order banks open up to place the order for the Demon 170, that now all of a sudden I wasn't first on the list and they returned my deposit. I didn't call Rick Hendrick's dealership at 9 AM in the morning after the reveal. They called me hours later after they told me in writing that they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with their two allocations. So someone is lying here and someone took my allocation for the Demon 170 that I put money down. So I would love someone from your company, Mr. Hendrick, to provide some shred of proof that someone put deposits down on these two allocations before I did for the Demon 170. Your people don't want to respond to me, but they can go out of their way and try to bribe people in the cars because someone left a bad review. And one of you guys left them a bad review for that dealership through Google. Now the funny thing I find is that I also left a bad review for them from my personal experience, and I'm the only person that does not have a response from that dealership. But one of my subscribers can leave a bad review, and then one of Mr. Hendrick's managers can track him down on Instagram and Facebook and try to bribe him with a 2023 Charger Red Eye. So it sounds like to me, Mr. Hendrick, that your dealerships give me the big FU about getting a Demon and I'm not worth a response. But you can see how these dealers will take your allocations that Mopar fans put in and work to find, and no way I'll get another allocations with these dealers now wanting 100, 250K over sticker. So I find it quite funny, Mr. Tim Kuniskis, that you want to claim that so many orders are at MSRP and turn a blind eye to shady dealerships that are putting Dodge's reputation down the drain. But Tim wants everyone to believe that majority of these orders are MSRP, and he will find it very hard to believe if dealers found ways to lie on the documentation that they sold their cars at MSRP so they wouldn't risk the Demon 170 not being built. There are several ways that dealers are lying on these notarized forms that they are selling these cars at MSRP. The easiest way is people selling their cars to pay for the markup. I've heard of a few stories of people selling their Demons or the Red Eyes that they paid off already, and then bam, they magically get a Demon 170 allocation at MSRP. Another method is dealers marking up accessories to crazy high numbers and charging separately. Another one is the owners or the GMs that are going to allegedly keep their car at invoice, and then magically they have a car sitting in their showroom going for the highest bidder. And then of course we have this shady way of getting dealers to forge notarized paperwork by getting you to buy another car that has an ADM on it, and now all of a sudden you can get your Demon 170 at MSRP. I'm not going to put the salesman on blast, but I would love for you guys to hear this nonsense.
Pretty good, man. I see you're interested on that Demon.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the way we working on it is that you have to buy a car today. This is the only day that you will be able to get it like this. You have to buy any type of car that I have in my dealership, like 75,000 over sticker on that car, and then you get your Demon at MSRP.
Oh, okay. So basically another car plus 75K.
Yes.
It was that new and used?
Not just new.
Just a new car?
Yeah.
So when the CEO of Dodge says he has a hard time believing that dealers will be honest with the Demon 170, every person can call a random dealer and see for yourselves what is going on. Dodge hasn't done a single thing to dealers since 2015 when the first Hellcats popped up, and they don't have the guts to do anything to them now, because at the end of the day, the dealerships are Dodge's customers, and you don't bite the D that feeds you. And in this case, the D stands for dealership. And that's it for this video, guys. A lot of us know it is not true that a majority of these Demon 170s were ordered at MSRP. And if they were, it was either for their owner, their friends, or people who had to go through crazy ways to get the car. For those of you guys who have an order in and is lower than 50K ADM, you don't have a car until the keys are in your hand. Because me and a few other people found out that these dealerships would take your car and Dodge won't lift a finger to do anything about it. And I pray that the same thing doesn't happen to none of you guys. But if you found this video helpful, make sure you leave it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Pick up some last call merch on your way out. And until the next time, I'm out.